Good morning to all the DICT BAC 3 members and the BAC Secretariat. Welcome to the 13th online meeting of the DICT BAC 3. Today is March 16, 2026. We would like to inform everyone that this meeting is being recorded for documentation purposes. We would like to acknowledge and put on record the presence of our honorable DICT BAC 3 members. We have the provisional member, Director Terry Bumolo. Good morning, sir.
Hi, Bak. Hi, team. Good morning.
We have our regular member, Director Lisa M. Rabena. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning to everyone.
And this meeting is being presided over by the Vice Chairperson, Director Mark Recker M. Bencito. Good morning again, sir.
Good morning.
With the presence of the back members mentioned, the back secretariat confirms the presence of the quorum. To proceed, shown on the screen is the proposed agenda for today's meeting. We have one agenda, which is the pre-bid conference for the project managed services for the operations and maintenance of the National Fiber Backbone Phase 1 network. With an approved budget for the contract of 74 million pesos, and the end user representative is Sec Pinky T. Jimenez. This is for the consideration of the back. With the presented agenda, Mr. Vice Chair, may we get the approval of the back, please?
Any motion?
Mr. Vice Chair, motion to approve the posted agenda. Thank you.
Any second?
Second to approve the agenda. Thank you.
All right. Baksec, you have approved agenda. Please proceed. Thank you.
With your permission po, Mr. Vice Chair, to admit the other end user representatives, technical working group members, and the prospective bidders for this project.
Please proceed. Thank you.
Good morning to all the other end user representatives, technical working group members, and to our prospective bidders. Welcome to the pre-bid conference for the project managed services for the operations and maintenance of the National Fiber Backbone Phase 1 network. Please be informed that this meeting is being recorded for documentation purposes. Furthermore, in the interest of transparency and pursuant to Section 38 of RA 12009, a copy of this recording will be uploaded to the DICT's official YouTube channel. You may visit the Department of ICT Philippines channel on YouTube. Thank you. For proper identification, we will request all the prospective bidders to kindly introduce yourselves and please state the name of the company you are representing. I will call on one by one po. Let's start with Alex Javier.
Good morning. Solutions Tech for Asticom.
Thank you po. Next is April Rose Herrera.
Good morning, sir, ma'am. April Rose Herrera from Gen Corporation, Tech Sales Engineer. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. How about Miss Angelica Filasol?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning. This is Angelica Filoso from Infocentric po.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you po. Beatrice Alexandra Piolo.
Yes, present for Lancaster Technology and Development Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Kagalingan.
Good morning, Ses Kagalingan from Asticom Vinci.
Morning, ma'am. Thank you po. Charlie Kurt Antiquera.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Charlie Kurt Antiquera representing Jan Corporation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Darwin Jacinto.
Good morning. This is Darwin Jacinto from Trends and Technologies.
Okay po. Good morning, sir. Donita Rosavier.
Hello po, good morning. Donita Rosavier from Vinci Asticom po.
Mr. Eric Concepcion.
Good morning, Eric Concepcion from Telca.
Yes, thank you po. Miss Erica Cuales.
Erica Cuales po from Song-In Philippines Corporation.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir J. Lord Bernal.
From Asticom Vinci po.
Thank you po. How about Jaisel Almario?
Good morning, everyone. Jaisal Almario from Infocentrics po.
Thank you po. Mr. John Paul Pagobayan.
Good morning po. From Vinci Asticom po.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Joseph Eugenio.
Good morning, everyone, from Song-Il Philippines Corporation po.
Thank you, sir. Miss Kimberly Claire Sanchez.
Morning po from Asticom Vinci po.
Thank you, ma'am. Crystal Joy Paragoso.
Good morning po, Crystal from Infocentric. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Leandro Lavarias.
Good morning po, Leandro Lavarias from Asticom Vinci po. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Linus Antonio.
Good morning, Linus Antonio from RoboThings Consulting.
Thank you po. Miss Lucille Natividad.
Hello, good morning, Asticom Vinci.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you. Miss Maria Teresa Tolentino. Hello, ma'am. Miss Maria Teresa Tolentino. How about Mr. Manuel Pacubas? Again po, Mr. Manuel Pacubas. Next.
Hi, good morning. Manuel here. Manuel Pacubas from Infocentrics.
Good morning, sir. Thank you po. Next please, Miss Maria Jaire Ordonez.
Hi, good morning. Maria Ordonez from Lancaster Technology and Development Corporation.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you po. Miss Maricar Manatad.
Hello, from One Commerce International Corp.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Marnel San Pablo.
Hello, good morning. From Infocentric Solutions Inc.
Thank you, sir. Good morning po. Miss Monica Shane Villafuerte.
Good morning po, Monica Villafuerte from Jehan Corporation.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Regine Claire Felonco.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Regine Felonco from Comclark.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Relly Antojado.
Hello, good morning. Riley here from Asticom Vinci.
Thank you po. Mr. Roderick Filipinas.
Good morning po, ma'am and everyone. Roderick Filipinas from Songil, Philippines po.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ryan Leoncio.
Ryan from Asticom Finsi.
Thank you po. How about SPC, John?
John Eric po from Songil, Philippines.
Thank you po. Arjo Lasing.
Arjo from Telca Network.
Thank you po. Michelle Lacasa.
Michelle Lacasa po from Telca Network Inc.
Thank you, ma'am. Any bidders who aren't called on or acknowledged, please raise a hand po. So none na po. Thank you to all our bidders. With your permission, Mr. Vice Chair, we will now proceed to present the presentation materials for this project. May we call on Ms. Bridget David po. You may start. Thank you. Hello po, Ma'am Rigel. You may start po. Thank you.
Nagpapa-on ka. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. The DICT now invites bids for the project. Bid reference number DICT-2026-007 for the project name manage services for the operations and maintenance of the National Fiber Backbone Phase Number 1 network with approved budget of 74 million. Points of discussion, project details, house rules, invitation to bid, instruction to bidders, checklist of technical and financial documents, sealing and marking of bids, bid data sheet, technical specifications, forms, post-qualification documents, and reminders to bidders. Project details. The invitation to bid for the project was posted on March 6, 2026 on the following: FieldRep's website, the ICT website, e-procurement website, and the ICT bulletin board. Supplemental bid bulletin number was issued on March 11, 2026, reflecting the new schedule of the procurement for the project. Invitation to observers for the pre-bid conference were sent on 11 of March 2026 to the following: Commission on Audit, Chief Information Officers, Forum Foundation Incorporated, Institute of Electronics Engineers of the Philippines Incorporated, and Philippine Computer Society. The provisional member and user representative to the DICT BAC 3 for this project is ASEC Pinky T. Jimenez. Prospective bidders which registered for today's private conference: Sungil Philippine Corporation, Vinci, Jehan Corporation, Lancaster Technology and Development Corporation, Infocentric Solution Incorporated, One Commerce International Corporation, Trends and Technologies Incorporation, Telca Network. For the House rules, everyone is encouraged to make clarifications, identify name and company before raising a question, limit questions to details of the procurement at hand. Invitation to bid. The DICT BAC shall award the contract to the bidder with the lowest calculated and responsive bid, LCR. Bidding requirements. The bidding for the project shall be governed by all the provisions of RA 12009. Any amendments made to the IRR and GPPP issuances shall be applicable only to the ongoing posting, advertisement, or IB by the BAC through the issuance of the supplemental bid bulletins. The bidder, by the act of submitting its bid, shall be deemed to have verified and accepted the general requirements of this project, including other factors that may affect the cost, duration, and execution or implementation of the contract, project, or work, and examine all instruction forms, terms, and project requirements in the bidding documents. Corrupt, fraudulent, collusive, and coercive practices. The procurement entity as well as the bidders and suppliers shall observe the highest standard of ethics during the procurement and execution of the contract. They or through an agent shall not engage in corrupt, fraudulent, collusive, coercive, and obstructive practices defined under RA 12009. Or under integrity violations and competing for the project. All bidders found with the conflicting interests shall be disqualified to participate in the procurement at hand without prejudice to the imposition of appropriate administrative, civil, and criminal sanctions. Conflict of interest. All bidding documents shall be accompanied by an omnibus form statement of the bidder that it is not related by consanguinity or affinity up to the third level to the hope procurement agent if engaged, the head of the project management office, PMO, the end user or implementing unit, or any members of the bids and awards committee, technical working group, and bank secretariat. Conflict of interest. The bidder shall also disclose the ultimate beneficial ownership of an entity. Failure to comply shall be a ground for the automatic disqualification of the bid in consonance with Section 59 of the IRR. Eligible bidders. Only bids of bidders found to be legally, technically, and financially capable will be evaluated. Foreign ownership limited to those allowed under the rules may participate in this project. OCC may be eligible to participate only from the submission of the bid, a single largest completed contract, SLCC, that is similar to the procurement project to the bid and whose value must be equivalent to at least 50% of the BAC adjusted to current prices using the Philippine Statistics Authority PSA consumer price indices. The bidder must submit a computation of its net financial contracting capacity and FCC, which must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid. subcontracting is not allowed. Clarification and amendment of bidding documents. Request for clarification should be formalized, addressed at email to the DAC, to the back secretariat, back at dic.gov.ph and back.secretariat@dict.gov.ph. Deadline for the request clarification is on March 2026 at 4 p.m. Copies of supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the PhilJEP's website, the DIC website, and bulletin board at the DICT lobby. Language of bids. The eligibility requirements or statements that bids and all other documents to be submitted the back must be in English. If eligibility requirements or statements, the bids and all other documents submitted to the back are in foreign language other than English. It must be accompanied by a translation of the documents in English. For contracting parties to the Apostille Convention, the document shall be authenticated through an apostille by the competent authority as defined in section 20.9.2 of the IRR, except the countries identified by DFA that will require legalization, red ribbon, by the relevant embassy or consulate. Checklist of technical and financial documents. Number 1, technical component envelope. Number 1, PhilJEP's certificate of registration, platinum membership. Statement of the bidder, single largest completed contract, SLCC, similar to the contract to the bid, to be bid except under conditions provided for in section 52.4.1.3 IRR of RA 12009 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents. Any of the following documents must be submitted together with a statement of single largest completed contract. A, end user acceptance. B, official receipt and sales invoice for the contract. NFCC computation or committed line of credit, LOC, statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be. If from potential GE partners stating that they will enter into abide by the provisions of the JVA in the event that the bid is successful. Original copy of bid security, if in the form of surety bond. Submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration note. Bidders who opt to submit a security declaration as a form of bid security are required to use the bid security declaration form in the attached bidding documents. Schedule of requirements. Technical specification which may include production or delivery schedule, manpower requirements, or after sales service or parts if applicable. In line with section 7 hereof, the service provider must submit as part of their bid submission the list of key our priority to insert to sign the OSS and do acts represent the bidder and for foreign bidders claiming eligibility by reason of their country's extension of reciprocal rights to Filipinos, a certification from the relevant government office of their country stating that Filipinos are allowed to participate in their government procurement activities for the same item or product. Financial documents envelope, original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules, and certification from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity. Bid and payment currency, payment of the contract price shall be made in Philippine peso. Bid price, use the proper form for goods offered from within the Philippines or goods offered from abroad in indicating price schedule. Bid validity, bids shall remain valid for the period specified in BDS, which shall not exceed 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. Bid security, all bids must be accompanied by a bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount of stated in BDS. Format and signing of bids, bidders shall submit their bids through their duly authorized representative using the appropriate forms provided in Section 8 with Philippine bidding documents related forms on or before the deadline specified in ITB Clause 19 and 2 separate sealed bid envelopes. Forms as mentioned in ITB Clause 17.1 must be completed without any alteration to their format. No substitute form shall be accepted. Each and every page of the bid form, including the price schedule under Section 8, shall be signed by the duly authorized representatives of the bidder. Failure to do so shall be ground for the rejection of the bid. Any insertions, erasures, or overwriting shall be valid only if they are signed or initialed by the duly authorized representative of the bidder. Inside the mother envelope. Inside the mother envelope, there are two. Inside the mother envelope, it contains the technical component and financial component. Inside the technical component is the original, duplicate, and triplicate. Inside the financial component is the original, duplicate, and triplicate. For the procuring entity, Department of Information and Communications Technology, name of the bidder in capital letters, address of the bidder in capital letters. For the project, managed services for the operations and maintenance of the National Fiber Backbone Phase 1 network with the bid reference number DICT BAC-2026-007. In capital letters, indicate the phrase, do not open before March 30, 2026, 1:30 p.m. Each bidder shall submit one original and 2 copies of the record documents. The deadline for submission of bids is March 30, 2026 at 12 p.m. Opening of bids is March 30 at 1:30 p.m. Bid evaluation, reminding bidders to kindly break down all the cost of taxes pursuant to Section 61.2.2 IRR of RA 12009 to with all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as but not limited to value-added tax, income tax, local taxes, and all other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for the bid evaluation and comparison. Members of the BAC, its staff, and personnel secretariat, and TWG, as well as observers, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidders regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC, through its secretariat, may ask the bidder in writing for clarification of its bids. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. Opening and preliminary examinations of bids. The manner of opening of the bids for goods shall depend on the awards criterion to be adopted for LCRB and MEARB. The BAC shall open the technical and financial proposals on the same day. The project shall be installation, maintenance, operation, and management of information and communication system, ICT network, including but not limited to associated equipment and outside plant maintenance facilities such as laying of fiber optic cables of both aerial and underground and fiber blowing and microduct and HDPE conduit, including its facilities, should have been completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. The bid security shall be form of bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. Amount of 3,700,000, form of bid secure cashier, manager's check, bank draft, guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit and security bond. Cost qualification documents. The bidder within 5 calendar days from receipt of notice from the bank that it submitted the LCB, MEAB, or MAB shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its PhilJet certificate of registration, platinum membership, its latest income or and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bid and other appropriate licenses and permits required by the law stated in the bids. The forms, schedule of requirements, technical specifications, bid form, price schedule for goods offered from abroad, price schedule for goods offered from within the Philippines, bid securing declaration, omnibus warrant statement, and performance securing declaration. These are the forms indicated on the bid form. Bid form, price schedule for goods, same price schedule for goods, bid securing declaration, omnibus warrant statement, schedule of requirements, reminders to bidders. The clock at the DICT lobby using the Philippine Standard Time is the official reference time during submission and receipt of bids. A member of the back secretariat will be assigned to receive the bid documents at the DICT lobby. Prior to the submission of the actual bid over May 8 time. Presence in the DICT premises does not constitute submission on time, which personnel of the back secretariat. Requests for clarification should be formalized, addressed, and emailed to the back secretariat, back@dict.gov.ph and back.secretariat@dict.gov.ph. Deadline for the request clarification is on March 20, 2026 at 4 p.m. Copies of supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the PhilJet's website, the DICT website, and bulletin board at DICT lobby. Common causes of ineligibility and disqualification, invalid PhilJet certification, and underlying supporting documents pursuant to Section 20.2.9.1 IRR of RA 12009. All eligibility documents indicated in the Annex A of the PhilJet registration certificate, platinum membership, must be current, valid, and updated at the time of the bid submission. The failure by the prospective bidder to update its certificate with the current and updated eligibility documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the validity of its certificate until such time that all of the expired eligibility documents has been updated. Thus, prospective bidders are required to update their PhilJet registration certificates prior to the submission of their bids. Failure to attach the requirement supporting documents for the statement of single largest completed contract, similar to the project to be bid, and failure to include all the mandatory provision, submission of unsigned documents, submission of audited financial statement without stamp received of the BIRF, and FAS was filed and paid through electronic filing and payment system. There is no need for stamp receipt of the BIR. Instead, bidders must submit their proof of AFS e-submission, BIR's email confirmation receipt of returns documents with its filing reference number transaction code. Failure to submit the bid securing declaration in prescribed format attached in the bidding documents. Failure to submit bid securing declaration of an omnibus warrant statement without a jurat as required in the form provided in the bidding documents pursuant to the latest rules on notarial practice. Failure to indicate compliance in the technical specification and to attach proof of compliance if applicable. For submission of bids through courier service, bidders are reminded that the courier service personnel must be submit the bid proposal to a personnel of the Back Secretariat Division at the office address provided below. Bid submission, proposal left by the courier service personnel at the lobby guard or any other personnel or staff aside from the authorized Back Secretariat personnel will not be considered submitted for purposes of bid opening. The responsibility to ensure that the courier service personnel submits that the bid proposal to the authorized Back Secretariat personnel is the sole responsibility of the prospective bidder. For a while lang po.
Accessing the e-procurement website. Open any web browser and go the https://eprocurement.dict.gov.ph. Click the Sign Up button. Provide a valid email address. Create a password with at least 8 alphanumeric characters, 1 uppercase, a number, and a symbol. Repeat your password for confirmation. Tick the checkbox to agree to the terms and conditions, and click Create Account button. Open the email account that you provided during registration. Check your inbox and verify your account by following the instructions in the email. Click Activate Your Account button. Go back to the e-procurement system and enter your registered email address and password. Click Login button, and you will be redirected to the onboarding page. Input your personal information and click Next button. Input your company information and click Next button. Review the information you provided and click Confirm button. Once onboarded, you will be redirected to the homepage/dashboard. Select the procurement project you wish to participate in by clicking the View Complete Details button. Select the lot you wish to participate and click Participate in Bidding button. A confirmation modal will appear. Review the details, click the Confirm button, and you will be redirected to the payment window. Select your preferred payment method from the list and click Pay Now button. Print and save the receipt as proof of payment and for reference. You may also check your email to view your receipt. Click the Go Back to Merchant button. You will be redirected to the My Transactions page, where a list of your transactions will be displayed.
That's all po for Back Secretariat presentation. Thank you po.
Thank you, Ms. Chair. Mr. Vice Chair, with regards to the technical specification, considering that the bidding documents are already posted and available online, may we respect the representative of each prospective bidders if they have already reviewed the specifications, or they would prefer the end user to provide a presentation of the technical specifications, or proceed with the question and answer portion. May we start with Sungil Philippines Corporation, representative from Sungil Philippines Corporation.
Roderick Filipinas from Sungil Philippines po, ma'am. We have reviewed the technical specifications and we suggest we can go ahead with the Q&A po.
That is noted, Sir Roderick. Thank you po. How about representative from FinC?
Hello, good morning po. We have read the technical specification. We suggest we proceed with the next steps, ma'am.
Noted, ma'am. Thank you po. How about the representative from GN Corporation?
Morning po. Yes po, we also reviewed po yung technical specification. You can also proceed po for the next segment. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. How about from Lancaster Technology and Development? Any representative po from Lancaster Technology and Development?
Hi, good morning. As of the moment, none pa po yung question namin. But if ever any questions were raised, we'll just send a written query.
Ano, ma'am, before po we proceed with the question and answer, would you like po the end user to present the technical specifications or na-review na po ito since available naman po ito online?
Yeah, it's okay on our end po. Kahit hindi din present. Meron naman pong copy ng ITB.
Copy, ma'am. Thank you po. How about representative from Infocentric Solutions, Inc.?
Yes, ma'am, we can proceed na lang po.
Noted, sir. Thank you po. Representative from One Commerce International Corporation.
Yes, I also propose to proceed with Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Representative from Trends and Technologies Inc.
We can proceed with the question and answer po.
Thank you, sir. How about from Telca Network Inc.?
We can proceed pa with Q&A, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. How about from MetroWorks ICT? Any representative po from MetroWorks ICT? Mr. Vice Chair, given that the bidders have already reviewed the specifications, with your permission po to proceed with the Q&A portion.
Please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To the prospective bidders, you may now raise your questions and clarifications if there are any. Please, before raising a question, please raise a hand and identify your name and the company you are representing. As for the end user representative, please present the posted bidding documents and make a walkthrough in response to the bidder's query, please. Thank you. To our prospective bidders po, please raise a hand if you have any questions po. Yes po, Sir Roderick Filipinas.
Roderick Filipinas from Sungil Philippines po. Yung first question ko lang, yung regarding the permitting. Technical specifications, item number 1.1.1.4. So, the service provider shall execute proper and advanced coordination with the ICT to timely facilitate the required permits from the government authorities and stakeholders to carry out the preventive maintenance service. I just want to ask yung scope of ng service provider related to permitting. So will they act as a courier or to liaise documents to the permitting agency, or and all the necessary permits will be covered by the ICT? Please clarify po. Thank you.
And user po, please respond. Thank you.
So, courier lang daw.
Yes, good morning. There's Moya po ng NDP. Yung cost ba ang tinatanong mo, Sir Roderick, doon sa Korea?
Sir Nelson, come again pa.
Repeat ko yung inquiry, Sir.
Ano po? Yung sa permitting, ano yung scope ng service provider related to permitting? Yung mga required documents by halimbawa DPWH and government agencies like barangay and municipalities will be provided by DICT po ba? And the necessary fees yung mga babayarin is i-cover ba ni DICT din yun?
Yeah. Yung mga fees sa Roderick is kasama doon sa deliverables po ng service provider. Okay. So kung may mga hiningi po yung mga permitting agencies o rin mga nagbibigay ng access sa mga sites, under po ng cost or budget po ng service provider.
Noted po, Sir Nelson. And how about po yung mga necessary documents po? I-provide po ba ni DICT or the service provider will provide it with assistance from the DICT?
Yung mga documents o yung mga supporting documents or yung mga requirement, halimbawa na kailangan ko ng signatory doon sa DICT, si MVP po ang ano doon, mag-BP ko sa inyo. Pero doon sa mga documents, kailangan pong i-prepare at kailangan pong submit doon sa mga agencies na bibigay po ng permit o yung mga requirements sa permit. Si ano na po ang ano doon, mag-prepare, si service provider.
Noted po, Sir Nelson. Thank you po.
Next question po, please. We'll start po with Ms. Jaisel Almario. After po is Sir J. Lord Bernal.
Opo. Clarificatory question lang po. Regarding po doon sa mga hub, based sa SLA kasi 2 hours yung maximum time. But yun kasing location is actually parang malalayo. So, is it required na for every hub, merong coming tools and equipment that will be housed doon sa mga hub na yon? Like medyo
Yeah, Sir J. Tama ba? Good morning. Yeah. Regarding dun sa sa SLA para ma-hit ko natin yung requirement natin. Usually po ang kailangan po natin dito is meron po kayong mga barracks or may mga remote locations or stations na malapit po doon sa mga OTN nodes po natin. So para ma-execute or ma-hit po yung requirement natin, dapat nakaposition po yung mga team nyo doon. So in so doing po, dahil may mga active equipment po tayo dito, katulad ng DWDM, may mga rectifiers din, mga ganun na dyan. So para magampanan po na tama yung trabaho, dapat lahat po ng sites na malapit doon sa paggagawan ko ng operation maintenance natin, kompleto po kayo. Okay. So may vehicles, may instruments or test instruments, at may mga tools po. Thank you.
thank you po, sir. Thank you.
Next po is Sir Joseph Eugenio.
Hello po, good morning. Joseph Eugenio po from Sungil, Philippines. Regarding po sa item 4 and 5, 1.1.2.5 to 2.6, yung restoration and repair of broken conduit and other underground facilities, including bridge attachment. And also the installation of the duct conduit system, including the existing facility for the rerouting due to road widening. Medyo broadened po kasi yung scope. Magpo-fall pa rin po ba yan sa repair kung kailangang i-reroute yung ating underground facilities? For example, if the bridge is undergoing for bridge widening, we have to remove the bridge attachment, for just example. Magpo-fall pa po ba yun sa repair, and then ganun din yung rerouting? If we have something like on the existing, meron tayong, let's say, existing na pumasok sa private property, and then yung owner ng private property is nag-build ng building, and then tinamaan yung facilities in the ICT underground, which is hindi na siya pwedeng i-repair, kailangan siya i-redrill. So, hindi po ba magpo-fall na yun sa rehab or yung sa reroute naman, magpo-fall siya sa resiliency. So, under pa ba siya ng repair or this is out of scope for the repair and maintenance? That's all po.
And user, please.
Yeah, hello. Dinig na ba kami?
Yes po.
Okay, yeah. Good morning ulit, Sungil team. Regarding doon sa inquiry mo, kasi ang pake naman natin dito is yung ONM. Okay. So, dahil kailangan nating ma-restore or ma-relocate or ma-reroute yung, lalo itong mga fiber optic cables, no? Halimbawa yung bridge na example mo kanina. Under pa rin siya ng repair at rerouting, okay? So yung gagamitin po natin dito, dahil mayroon naman kaming spare, is doon po natin siya kukunin. Okay? So kaya nire-require namin itong O&M team natin o dun sa service provider na mayroon tayong machineries and equipment para dito. So at all times, kung magkaroon ng pagbabago dun sa location ng underground conduits natin, kasi karamihan dito sa segment 8 is underground. So kailangan natin isama pa rin siya doon sa repair. Kailangan lang natin gamitin yung spares na mayroon kami dito. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Nelson.
Thank you po. Next po would be Sir J. Lord Bernal.
Hello po, good morning po. Question lang po regarding sa dito sa ONM. So bali po defined lahat ng services na. I would like to ask, wala kasi kaming nakitang any references like historical data or anything na makapag-define sa mga tickets or yung criticalities po. Yung po sana yung kung pwede may mabibigay po ba or mare-request kami regarding dyan para po sa, ayun nga po, based din po kasi yung question ko sa manpower allocation tsaka para po ma-plot natin effectively sa mga areas. This is reference doc po sa technical specification Annex C, manpower minimum qualifications po.
Okay, kasi siya. Sir, ulit po yung inquiry para masagot po namin ng tama yung tanong niyo po.
Bali po sir, dyan po, in connection dyan sa minimum requirements po ng manpower, we would like to request for supporting documents po like historical data or number of tickets na nagawa po in the past since this is an existing sites po, no? Para po ma-allocate namin po and ma-plot yung manpower po na nakalagay po dyan effectively. Ayun po.
Okay sir po, ganito po, mag-review po kayo through back. Doon po kami sa baka sa magbibigay po ng yung mga documents po na hindi. Thank you.
Sir, hello po, na-cut po sir. Sorry po. Medyo nag-i-in out yung receptions natin, sir. Bali po, sino magbibigay, sir, ng supporting document?
Yeah. Ganito sir, para maayos po yung argument o yung position natin. So, sulat po kayo dito sa back namin para yung katanungan o yung kahilingan po nyo, ibibigay po rin namin sa back. Si back team po namin ang bibigay po ng mga documents na kailangan po nyo. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Next po is Sir Roderick Filipinas.
Thank you po, ma'am. Parang follow-up inquiry lang yung gagawin ko. Natanong na kanina regarding dun sa SLA. Dun sa SLA kasi, 1.1.2.1 sa technical specifications, nakalagay dun yung travel time na 2 hours. Tapos, meron tayong restoration time doon na 6 hours upon trouble ticket issuance. So, yung 2 hours po ba, ma'am, na travel time included na dun sa 6 hours restoration time? Or ang magiging total time ko is 8 hours total restoration time na including yung travel? Kasi medyo nakakalito yung yung nakalagay na 6 hours restoration time upon release or endorsement of the trouble ticket. Thank you po.
End user po, please.
Ulit nga lang yung reference mo ulit. Hinahanap namin siya.
Yung sir, yung 1.1.2.1, secure 24/7 on-call repair team for immediate response in case of network failure. The response time shall be according to the agreed SLA. Please refer to Annex A, Item D. So dun sa Annex A, Item D, meron tayong travel time na 2 hours. Tapos, meron ding naka-separate column yung restoration time which is 6 hours upon trouble ticket issuance. So, yung po bang 2 hours na travel time included na doon sa 6 hours restoration time? O magiging total restoration time including travel hours is 8 hours?
Okay. So ganito sir Roderick. Dati kasi hindi namin isinama doon sa 6 hours yung 2. Ngayon para mas siya, mas compact or mas madali siyang maintindihan. Yung 6 hours natin, inclusive na doon yung 2 hours na travel time. Thank you.
Thank you po, Sir Nelson.
Next po is Sir Arjo Lassie.
Hello, good morning. Sir, may question lang about doon sa maintenance ng active equipment. Meron kasi ditong short configuration system administration, Corporation System Administration Configuration Maintenance of the ICT DWDM equipment. So it means to say, sir, kung sakaling merong provisioning ng mga logical circuits, yung service provider din ang gagawa nun?
Sir Arjo, what item number pa kaya siya?
1.2.2.1.1. Siguro sama na rin yung 1.2.2.1.8. May service provisioning na mention.
Sir Arjo, Pwedeng ulit po yung inquiry.
Sir, yung dun sa nabanggit sa technical specs na operation, system administration, configuration, pati yung service provisioning. Also included yung yung cross connections, patching fiber laying. Referring ba to, sir, sa, for example, may requirement ng new circuit si DICT? Yung service provider ba ang magko-configure nun, magpa-plot or bubuo ng circuit? Dun sa active equipment, sir?
Okay. So sa mga new requirements, Sir Arjo, kami na yung gagawa doon sa new requirement. Okay? Ang kailangan namin sa ONM is, yung kailangan namin sa ONM is kung yung mga circuits na nagkaroon ng problem, halimbawa nagkaroon ng events, then naputol o nagkaroon ng fiber cuts o naputol. So ang kailangan namin dun sa ONM team is rerouting, di ba? So yung creation yung creation naman ng circuits nito is under na ng service provider. So ang gagawin ng service provider is dapat mayroon siyang SME or team or mga engineers, field engineers or NOC engineers na capable mag-create ng circuits or mag-provision ng mga circuits. Okay. So requirement natin siya.
Okay. So sir, parang ang binabanggit mo, in case of any trouble or issues, tapos kailangan provision ng circuit, yun lang yung i-cover ng service provider.
Yes. Doon sa may mga events lang, may mga problem. Pero yung mga new circuits, si NBP nang gagawa.
So yung meron kasi doon included din, parang yung testing. I'm not sure if doon siya referred yung kumbaga test ng logical circuits na created for restoration. Tama ba, sir? Yun yung testing na kailangan i-perform.
Yeah, doon pa rin tayo sa common practice ginagawa natin sa circuits, Sir Arjo. So kapag nag-create tayo ng bagong line o bagong link or bagong route, kailangan nating ma-merge siya para makita natin yung performance ng network bago natin i-deploy or i-connect yung event na nagkaroon ng problem.
Okay, sir. So yung mga spare na cards or boards, meron naman po dito si DICT. No? I mean, hindi siya i-cover doon sa scope.
Yes. Yung mga critical parts natin dito sa OTN, mayroong spare si DICT. Okay. So ang kailangan namin sa side ng service provider is yung consumables, tapos yung mga patch cord, halimbawa yung mga patch cords.
Okay.
Na kailangang ma-deploy kagad. So dapat may mga stocks kayo. Okay. Pero yung mga critical parts na cards, modules, OTN, may spare si DICT. So yun ang gagamitin natin.
Sir, yung dun sa nabanggit mong spares na consumables, let's say for example lang, ang issue is yung mga ODF or tie ODF or tie fiber. Kasama ba siya, sir, na kailangan bigyan ng service?
Yes. Itong mga kasi mga common items sa OTN, dapat si service provider meron siya. So ito yung ni-require natin dito sa terms of reference.
Noted, sir.
Thank you.
That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next po is Mr. Rex Vicente.
Hello, ma'am. Question lang po, Rex Vicente from Jayan po. Yung SLA po ba ng aerial at saka yung sa UG is the same po?
Yes, yung SLA natin is parehas naman siya. Tapos yung ang tawag dito, yung mathematics nito o yung calculations, makita naman dito sa terms of reference. Okay. So, naka-indicate doon kung paano natin siya susukatin lalo yung performance ng service provider.
Okay. Noted po, sir. Kasi kung sakali, para maiwasan yung downtime, possible po ba na mag-temporary aerial habang ginagawa yung sa HTD po?
Yes, basically yun yung kailangan namin sa service provider. Kaya binabanggit natin doon sa terms of reference na mayroon siyang mga spares o mayroon siyang logistics, resources, basta hindi lang kasama doon sa critical part ng project o yung O&M natin. So, limbawa, itong binabanggit natin is underground, nagkaroon ng fiber break. Hindi naman kasi natin kaagad marirestore siya. So, ang kailangan natin is other way, which is yung aerial nga. So, nire-require natin si service provider na capable siya nito. So, mayroon siyang team o mayroon siyang machineries din na gagamitin kapag mag-aerial muna tayo habang inaayos yung nasirang underground.
Lastly, sir, yung sa restoration po ba, manhole to manhole or ina-allowed po tayo na magkaroon ng handhole or EE para ma-connect natin. For example, kung may microduct ginagamit po natin, mapagdugtong po natin ito or papalitan po siya manhole to manhole.
Okay. So, ganito sir, situational kasi yung inquiry mo kung gaano kagrabe yung sira. Okay. So, hindi naman tayo magmamanhole to manhole doon sa pag-repair nito. So, pwede tayong maglagay, yung katulad ng binanggit mo, pwede tayong maglagay ng handhole kung it requires doon sa restoration nito. Pero kung pure ano lang naman to, halimbawa naputol yung microduct, naputol yung fiber optic cable, then after na makita natin yung site is pwede naman siyang idugtong doon sa pinakamalapit na handhole. Ipupul lang natin yung fiber optic cable doon sa pinakamalapit na handhole or manhole. Then mag-i-splice na tayo doon. Okay?
Oh, okay po, sir. Noted po, sir. Thank you.
Next po, Sir Joseph Eugenio.
Hello po ulit. Last question na po from Sungil. Doon po sa sa Annex C, the service provider must submit as part of their bid submission the list of key personnel, the copies of curriculum vitae including the certification of training and seminars attended in hard copy must be submitted during post-qualification. However, in the event that the personnel resign, the service provider must submit new listings of manpower with the same qualifications including CVs. So bali po ba ito halimbawa, nag-submit kami ng mga upon the bidding procedure, nag-submit kami ng mga manpower list namin and resume, and then upon the post-qual procedure, nag-resign, so po pwede po namin siya submitan ulit ng bagong manpower list or resume. So covered po ba ito? Or ang binabanggit lang dito is yung nag-i-start na kami then nag-resign yung tao. Paano po kung hindi nagpo-post-qual pa lang, nag-resign yung tao, pwede pa po siyang palitan?
Yes, sir, ganito, no? Kasi ang binabanggit mo kasi nito is nakapag-submit na, di ba? Kumbaga, halimbawa, ikaw yung si Sungil, halimbawa, yung winning service provider. Then, during post-qual, nag-resign yung binabanggit mong technical team mo. So at that time kasi, nung i-submit mo yung documents is in good faith naman siya, nandyan siya, valid siya. Okay. So ang gagawin lang natin is papalitan mo yung team mo na nag-resign with the same qualifications na hinahanap ng o hinihingi ng terms of reference natin, sir.
Copy, Sir Nelson. Thank you.
For Sir Arjo Lasin and Rex Vicente, nakalis po kayo ng hand? Hello po. For Sir Arjo Lasin, may query pa po sila.
Sorry. No more questions.
Noted, sir. Thank you po. Sir Rex Vicente po, may query po kayo? Sir Rex Vicente po? We'll proceed po with Sir Jaisel Almario.
Thank you po. Ano lang po, question lang po regarding sa mga cables which will be sa mga major damages. Doon po kasi sa 6 days nyo, number one question po is, yung cables po ba na ipapalit doon is provided ng DICT or yung contractor din na magpo-provide noon? Ang number 2 po is, doon po ba sa 6 days, included na ang, siyempre dapat ibig sabihin, merong kaming supply of mga cables agad na naka-standby doon sa mga magiging barracks namin. Kasi 6 days lang yun, hindi kami pwedeng bumili kung sakaling magpapalit or DICT po ba magpo-provide? Sir, yun. Po ba, na-clear po ba yung question ko or maingay po?
Clear naman po, sir. And you, sir po, please respond.
Yes, sir. Itong table na pinag-uusapan natin is itong Service Level Agreement.
Apo, doon sa mga major na changes po, halimbawa doon, especially doon sa mga ground or pagka po nasira.
Tapos ang inquiry mo dito is yung 6 hours kasi, kung inclusive na dito yung spare na gagamitin nyo doon sa 6 hours.
Yes po. Number one question po is, will this be provided po by the ICT or kami rin ang magpo-provide ng mga ipapalit?
Ganito kasi, yung spare namin dito na pwede nyong gamitin is yung may micro duct, may fiber optic cable, okay, at mayroon kaming OTN ng mga cards and modules, okay. Ang kailangan sa side nyo is yung consumables. Para ma-restore natin yung event or yung break, meron kayong dapat consumables para ma-restore siya. So, ang sa side namin is i-provide namin yung spares na mayroon kami, yung katulad na banggit ko kanina. Then sa side nyo naman is yung mga consumables para magamit yung mga spares na mayroon kami.
Clear po. So, doon sa 6 days na doon, included na doon po yung delivery nung halimbawa po, sa inyo nga yung cables, is that available po agad ba na papasok din doon sa delivery time which kung kailangan po namin or paano po ang magiging process po noon para po pumasok kami doon sa 6 days nung restoration po?
Okay. Sige. So, situational ulit to, sir. Depende kung depende kung gaano kahirap yung nire-restore natin. So, at itong 6 days na ito is basically kung halimbawa may excavation sa site na dali yung microduct. So madali siyang makita kasi buhay yung link na identify natin kung saan yung location kaagad. So yung excavations hanggang restoration nito, based dun sa calculation namin dahil available naman yung fiber na gagamitin natin, is doable siya. Okay? So kung yung situation naman is sabi nating magpapalit o yung nabanggit kanina ng sungil team, magpapalit ng lugar dahil magre-reroute. So yung 6 days is not enough. Ang ginagawa natin usually sa restoration ng mga to is maglalagay muna tayo ng intermediate dahil underground yung solution natin. Ang intermediate natin is yung aerial. So mag-create muna tayo ng aerial link. So using that aerial link, that 60 days, yun yung nakikita namin na restoration time para yung mga beneficiaries naman na kailangan natin bigyan ng internet is hindi sila madidisturb maiki.
Thank you po. Thank you, sir.
Next po is Miss Erica Cuales.
Hello po, ma'am. Hindi po kasi gumagana yung ano ko, voice ko po. So,
Okay.
ano po, yung question ko po is sa technical specifications.
Excuse me po. Ma'am, for a while lang po, nag-echo lang po yung microphone ninyo, and kindly state your name po and the company, please. Thank you.
Hello po, ma'am. Rinig na po ba ako?
Yes, ma'am. Clear na po.
So, ang question ko po is sa technical specifications, item number 1.1.1.5.
Ma'am, from what company po kayo, ma'am?
Sungil Philippines po.
Okay, copy po.
So, ang question ko po, kasi nakasulat po dito, conduct cleaning and dewatering of manholes po twice on rainy season. So, may declaration po ba kung kailan po yung rainy season? Kasi minsan po, di ba, December po, umuulan, ganyan, may bagyo. May declaration po ba?
Good morning, ma'am. Yes, yung declaration nito is para official siya. Gamitin natin yung declaration ng Pag-asa, okay? So pag sinabi niyang rainy season, so ito na yung ano natin, pinag-uusapan natin na sakaling magkaroon ng tubig doon sa manhole. So mayroon tayong minimum of 2 sa dewatering nito. Okay.
Okay po, ma. Okay po, sir. Thank you po. Noted.
Po, Sir Roderick Filipinas.
Thank you po, ma'am. Last question lang po. In case of relocation, aerial repairs, yung pong poste, provided po ba ni DICT din yun, yung mga poste? Thank you po.
Kamuti ka. Pinira mo. Sir Roderick, good morning ulit. Yes, yung poste, okay, so magre-restore tayo using aerial, di ba? Itong poste na gagamitin natin is di naman siya permanent eh. So tinitinan natin as part ng deliverable nito ni service provider. Okay, so kahit yung permitting na involved dito is part ng deliverable ng service provider.
kasama diyan Sir Nelson yung ano ha, yung in terms of relocation. So kay service provider na rin yung ano, yung pool.
Yes. Kasi si DICT wala kaming hindi kami pero nag-stock ng mga item katulad ng poste, sir. So lahat nung procure namin is eksakto lang dun sa pangangailangan ng project. So itong poste, kung mag-i-real po tayo, dapat mayroong kayong gagamitin. Hindi naman yung poste ha na malaki na yung standard. So may mga poste naman tayong ginagamit para dun sa restoration. Okay.
Copy Sir Nelson. Just in case po, manghihingi na lang kami ng ano, ng specs just in case ng mga DICT poll.
Yes, Sir Roderick. Kung kailangan natin ng specification nito, meron naman kaming available na pwedeng i-share sa mga service provider. Basta ano lang, ang kailangan lang natin dito is a letter coming from your side, then i-course through nyo sa back namin. Okay. Kami naman ang magbibigay ng specs nito doon sa back. Then si back ang magbibigay sa inyo nun. Ito. Thank you.
Thank you po, Sir Nelson.
Any more questions po from the other prospective bidders? Any more questions po? Mr. Vice Chair, since wala na po questions from our prospective bidders, we will now proceed po to present the final reminders po. Reminders to bidders, request for clarification should be formalized, addressed, and emailed to the back secretariat at back@dict.gov.ph and back.secretariat@dict.gov.ph. Deadline for the request for clarification is on March 20, 2026, 4:00 p.m. Copies of the supplemental bid bulletins, if any, shall be posted at the PhilShop's website, DICT website, and bulletin board at the DICT lobby. Since there are no more questions, we would like to thank our prospective bidders for joining us today. You may visit the DICT's official YouTube channel, Department of ICT Philippines, for the copy of these proceedings. Mr. Vice Chair, that is all po from the side of the back secretariat. Having no other matters to be discussed, you may conclude this meeting. Thank you po.
Any motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Vice Chair. Thank you.
Any second? Hearing no objection, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Everyone.
Thank you po.
Thank you.